welcome to Seen Through Glass. Now, a few weeks ago, Gumtree got in touch, and I've used Gumtree for a number of years. It's how I found the parking space for my McLaren. I've bought and sold camera gear, musical equipment, and God knows what else using this site. However, one area I've never really used was the motoring section. So Gumtree challenged me to find the best car to buy on the Gumtree's motor section for under £5,000. Now, I'll freely admit I spend a lot of time looking at used car listings online, but I rarely browse the under 5k section, mainly because it's just a bit more fun looking at Veyrons and LaFerraris. So I was really overwhelmed with the amount of choice available on the Gumtree site when I started looking. I quite quickly decided to sort of discount buying a sort of normal everyday car. There were plenty of Alfa Mitos, Mini Ones, VW Golfs knocking around, but I was determined to try and find something a bit more special. Now, the problem is everyone has different tastes when it comes to cars, and I find the opinions about used cars under 10k are far more passionate about opinions for used cars over 100k. So everyone I asked gave me sort of different advice or recommended a different car to look at. So I decided to keep myself to myself and just keep on trawling through all the listings. And after about a week, I found what I thought to be the perfect car for the budget. This is the Renault Clio 182 Trophy. Now, there are a number of reasons why I thought this car was the best car for the under £5,000 budget. And the first, and I think most important reason is this is a limited edition car. One of just 500 UK cars ever made. The only other country to get the cars was Switzerland, and they only got 25. So this is an incredibly rare car, and if you look at the car market across the world, limited edition cars are appreciating hand over fist. So be able to pick one up as rare as this for under £5,000, I thought was pretty incredible. The second reason is that we are in the UK, and whilst there were some amazing cars on the Gumtree Motors site, I think we're a country of hot hatches, and funnily enough, I sneakily did a Twitter poll a few weeks ago asking you guys, if you had £5,000, which route would you go down? Hot hatch, sort of a Jap classic, a sort of really high mileage German muscle car, and the hot hatch one, which did not surprise me at all. So I kind of felt that that was the direction I should be going in anyway. The third reason is that for me, this car, when I was growing up, was like one of my hero cars. I don't know about you guys, but in the sort of early days of my driving career, hot hatches were like the most sort of attainable supercars. Things like Ferraris and Porsches and all of this stuff was just kind of madly out of reach, and you dreamt that one day you might be able to get close to. Whilst hot hatches, you were like, oh, if I get a sort of, a slightly better job or work an extra shift or rob an extra bank, there's a chance I could go out there and get a hot hatch and be the king of the 18-year-olds in the Tesco car park. And this particular car, the 182 Renault Sport Clio, was for me like, So let's get into what is the 182 Trophy. Why do people fanboy over it, or fangirl over it so much? So the Trophy was supposed to be Renault Sport's hero version of the 182, an additional step up from the 182 Cup, which was already considered a pretty hot hatch. As I said, the Trophy was predominantly made for the UK market, where the Renault Sport cars were incredibly popular, and they were all offered in this capsicum red. The car's got a number of aesthetic updates, including Trophy logos inside and out, lighter alloy wheels, exhaust, the rear spoiler from the Clio V6, but mechanically, apart from the car being a little bit lower and stiffer, the engine actually remained completely unchanged. However, the car was transformed by something very simple: dampers. And that is basically racing dampers. They teamed up with Sachs Engineering to put full-on racing dampers in this car, and journalists all over the place started to sing its praises, saying it was the perfect car for hooning around English B roads. And I think, as I say, that's why hot hatches are so popular in the UK. When we want to go and have fun, when we want to go on a hoon, we come to the countryside like this and find a small, narrow, twisty English B road or small country lane. And that is where these little hot hatches are perfect. You get so much torque in the low end revs and you can just throw it around. The steering, the handling of this car feels incredible. It definitely is born to be on a racetrack. But these little country roads can become your own private racetrack within certain safety limits. And I've driven this car now for a couple of days. We picked it up in Newcastle, drove it back down to London, and then I've been out and about kind of trying to learn it before I made this video, and my God, is it a lot of fun. Whilst you could probably argue that there are faster hot hatches definitely available now, but even from that period, there's something about the feel of it. It feels like true Renault Sport wizardry, and the ride is unbelievable. I'm now starting to understand more and more what those journalists were talking about in those early reviews. Come down through this super springy and easy gearbox, throw it in, it grips, and you're away! Ah! And it revs out red line just after 7,000 RPM, so you properly get going. The power delivery is super linear. It's just fun. It just brings a massive smile to my face every time I get in it. And that's amazing for a car which is almost 10 years old now. It's been immaculately maintained, and my favorite thing about it is it's completely stock. It's so hard to find some of these sort of like iconic classic noughties cars that haven't been modified or tuned, especially when you start looking at sort of Evos and Subarus and things like that. But this car is basically stock. And I haven't even told you the best thing yet. As you may have guessed from the title, I'm now going to give this epic little car away to one of you guys. I can't actually quite believe that I'm getting the opportunity to do this. I'm so happy and excited that I've got the chance to give away a car for free to one of you guys. So here's how we're going to do it. I obviously had an amazing experience looking for this car on Gumtree. So I want to hear about your experiences on Gumtree. So use the hashtag #GotItOnGumtree STG and submit on Twitter and Facebook probably mainly. I want a picture of what you bought and a short story about how you found it. So it could be your first car, it could be like a crazy rare vintage present for your mum or your dad, really anything that you think has a good story behind it. Obviously, if you're going to be submitting on Twitter, you're going to be character limited, so do not feel like you need to bang on with paragraphs and paragraphs of a story. Just a short, to the point story that evokes your experience on Gumtree. For me, it was challenged to buy a car under £5,000, spent a week looking, found a limited edition Renault Sport Clio. I'm like, does it get any better?
Every time you say my name.
In 2 weeks' time, I will go through all of the entries submitted and find a winner. Once I find that winner, I will be driving to their house or their place of work with this car and my camera and film a handing over process to make them the new owner of this insane little hot hatch. Oh, not only is that going to be an exciting day, but hopefully a really exciting moment for whoever wins, because not only are they getting a free car, which hopefully is going to make you quite happy, but I think it's a bloody incredible free car. This thing, woo, for a 10-year-old car is just, oh, so good. So good. I might see you on a racetrack, I might see you on a road trip. Who knows, you're going to have a mega little hot hatch to run around in. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you're excited. Get submitting your stories. Don't forget, I want a picture of what you bought. I want a very short story of how you went about finding and how you ended up buying it. Submit them Twitter, Facebook, #GotItOnGumtree STG. Catch up with you guys very, very soon.